Hi, everyone. This is Tim Ney, Chief Executive Officer of Catholic Charities CEO Riverside. I am really excited to share with you today that I'm here with the Mayor of Riverside, Patricia Lock Dawson. Patricia, thank you for joining us.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I'm so happy that you asked me to do this. I think anytime we can get the word out about the good work that you're doing, the needs of the city, the good work that we're doing together, I think is wonderful.
So let's have some fun and get to know our mayor a little bit more in detail. So we had a chance to meet prior to this meeting, really fun, engaging meeting. But I read a lot about you. But before we go down that road, tell me more about you. Grew up in Riverside.
I did. I grew up in Riverside. I was born and raised here, youngest of 5 children. Attended St. Catherine's and Notre Dame for elementary and high school. And I'm a UCR grad and first UC Riverside graduate to be in the mayor's seat.
I read that actually. And so the first UCR grad in the mayor's seat, and you got a lot of great initiatives. And what inspired you to go to college?
Oh, wow. I was told to by my mom and dad.
Right. Yeah.
I think all 5 of us did, and all 5 of us have advanced degrees too. So everybody went on to do something else. You know, we've got I've got a brother who's a doctor, a sister is a lawyer, another brother's got his doctorate. I mean, you know, it was important to my mother. Education was always very much a priority for her. She knew that was the way forward for prosperity. So that was always drilled into us.
And you got your degree in biology, I believe.
I did. My undergraduate degree was in biology at UC Riverside, and then I have a master's in wildlife.
Yes, and also I just want to share, I hope it's okay, so your daughter's a ranger now.
Yeah, she's in the national park
she's
ranger.
sort of following your footsteps a little bit.
Yeah, she is, because my husband and I were both national park rangers. That's where we met, at Bryce Canyon National Park in Utah. And, you know, as they say, love bloomed at the rim of the canyon. So, and then I was a park ranger at Mount Rainier, and he went on to Olympic National Park. But yeah, her daughter's following in her.
This is so interesting. So my son also went to UCR and majored in biology, and today he's a helicopter pilot in the U.S. Navy. So you never know where life's path is going to take you. So that's so interesting. So you are at UCR biology, you become a park ranger. Did you ever imagine you'd get into politics?
No, I didn't. At that time, I didn't. I think, you know, everybody thinks you have some great life plan, and there are plenty of people that do. But I'm here to tell you the path to being an elected official is not a straight one. Most really successful politicians have a varied background, and I would like to say that scientists make very good elected officials because we're very discerning and critical, and we are able to filter information and be very not agnostic, I guess, or able to look at things and not be swayed one way or the other.
That makes a lot of sense. I mean, you have to basically triage a lot of stuff. I want to get into that a little bit later because you've had some great success with homelessness, and especially veterans homelessness as well. So I read a little bit about that, and so I definitely want to get into that. So we're so grateful and excited at Catholic Charities to even be in partnership with all the local officials, including yourself, and have your support. So that said, some of our areas or initiatives are career advisory services, getting folks out there in the workforce. And you mentioned that success is never this plan or the straight path, and we know that's true. So it's great for our listeners to hear that it's not some magical thing that some person has, whereas you go through these challenges in life, right? Ups and downs. So it's great that you shared that. So here you are, and you worked on, I believe, a few different legislative initiatives in your career before you became mayor.
Yes, that's right. I own my own governmental affairs consulting practice.
Okay.
So I've actually this is my 14th year in elected office, but I've been working in politics for about 25 years.
I could be wrong on this number, but I think it was $300 million or something that you helped bring to the city.
Well, to the city, yeah, we did. I mean, when I got to the city, it was just kind of COVID. We were very behind things, but we didn't really have a good legislative strategy. And I do think I brought that to the seat. And going forward, we were very effective in our legislative and budget asks.
I actually love my interactions with you because you're so calm. We're such a great city, right? So in your mind's eye, what makes Riverside so great? I mean, there's a lot of things, but if you had to kick a few.
You know, people like to say Riverside is a big city with a small town feel, and I do agree with that. And something somebody told me, which I think is hilarious, is that it's the Midwest of California, which means people are friendly. They know your name here. If you have an idea and you want to succeed, people support you, they help you. We have a beautiful historic downtown. We still have a downtown. Many cities don't have that. And, with historic buildings, we have an historic green belt with huge swaths of green and open space. But we also have a thriving economy and a research university at UCR, but two other universities as well, Cal Baptist and
We got to throw
UCR.
Cal Baptist in there since you're an alumni of UCR for sure.
Well, yeah. Well, they've done great things at Cal Baptist too.
They have.
We
They really have.
we have, I think, on any given day, about 60,000 students in the city of Riverside.
That's really great. And so it's a growing city. And I'm from San Diego, and I like to say San Diego is also a big, small town. I have noticed we're Catholic Charities is now recent members of the Riverside Chamber. And I have noticed what you said is exactly true, that everyone's out there willing to lend a helping hand and that sort of thing. So you have some big initiatives. One was veterans homelessness, which I think you have some models on that. And there was one that I found particularly interesting, which is youth homelessness. You're really passionate. Can you tell us more about that?
Sure. And I think you mentioned partnerships, and that is one of those success stories that came out of partnerships, something we can't do alone, right? So, homelessness is a problem we're all facing, every city's facing. And to me, one of the best strategies is prevention. Keep people from becoming homeless in the first place, and you have a much better chance of managing it later. Some of our most vulnerable populations are youth coming out of foster care. They have a fivefold risk of chronic issues as they grow into adulthood. They have an incredibly high rate of becoming homeless. So we work together with our county partners, 18 partners in all, with our nonprofits across the city, to have very focused case counseling on all of these kids that we had in our queue that were going to be aging out of foster care. And I'm really pleased to say that last year I issued a challenge in my State of the City, the mayor's challenge to end youth homelessness.
I read about this.
And we achieved it. We did it by just being intentional. And so this year we were able to claim that we reached functional zero for youth homelessness, which means we have as much services as there is need. So,
and that's why it's good to be a scientist if you're going to go into, because it's basically you're reducing your assumptions to knowledge, or your knowledge to assumptions ratio, right? As you learn and study these issues. So I think it's so interesting. And I've even heard stories before where a young person becomes 18 and the foster parent says, okay, your time here is over. It's time to leave the house.
I don't know about you. I wasn't ready to do anything at 18, really, without
we thought we were.
gardens. Yeah,
we thought we were. When you're 18, you're 30 in your mind.
Right. But we have the benefit of parents, right, and somebody there to help us in our corner. And studies show that that's how kids succeed, even if they come from a house where they don't have two parents. If they have another adult in their lives that believes in them and helps them, they can be successful.
So, who in your life is your greatest mentors, or who would you think of, maybe one or two people that assisted you along the way?
Oh gosh, there's so many, right? We all stand on the shoulders of giants, I think, in these positions, but my family is one. And I mean everybody, my mom, my dad, all my siblings. My oldest brother, Robert, was a huge influence on me. And he kind of set the academic bar a little high. He's a cardiologist. He's a smart guy. And then also, just former mayor Ron Leverage was a big help to me. Former county supervisor John Tavallone, very, very instrumental in helping me.
And what are some of the things that keep you up at night as mayor? Besides all the countless emails and all the other things that are happening.
Actually,
because I just want to share this with you. I've learned in our podcast, Community in Focus, that a lot of the burden goes on a mayor, the community. If there's something wrong, it's on the mayor's shoulders, when in fact it's it's the whole government folks, right?
Yeah.
So it sort of lands here.
That's a really good way to say it. I mean, we are sort of ground zero for every ill of society, right? Because we're recognizable, we're approachable, we're accessible. So people don't know the difference between, federal legislation, local legislation, and they come to the mayor's office or council to, and ask for assistance. But yeah, I mean, we end up being responsible for fixing all the problems in society.
You said something earlier in our first meeting about, sometimes doing a tremendous amount of work, and a lot of times people don't see all the differences that or the changes that you've made. And we know this to be true all the time when we're doing efforts out there in the community. You never know the lives that you touch or change. And that's why it's so important for folks, even watching now, if you want to volunteer, you can volunteer for Catholic Charities. You can volunteer for so many other great nonprofits. One that you guys work with, I thought, was Victory Outreach. They're somewhere in there mix too.
Yeah, Victory Outreach does jail inreach for us
That's right.
and connects with formerly incarcerated individuals. Um, they are a religious organization. They do bring, they do bring people along, but they offer them housing. They offer to connect them to services. They get them trained to do things. So, yeah, Victory Outreach is one of our partners.
So, folks, if you're watching now and you're inspired, this is what's coming up for me. This is like one community, Riverside, San Bernardino. We're here with the mayor. It's one team, one goal to really elevate our community and get on some committees. Go out and join the chamber itself. They have a bunch of different, committees you can work on. And I mean, just volunteer opportunities out there to help make us a better community for all. So. Mayor, if there's someone watching now that needs a little bit of inspiration,
Hmm.
Could be a young student, could be anyone who's struggling, a single parent that's out there, what would your advice be with your journey?
Don't lose hope. I would say that. After all, find hope where you can get it. But when you feel that the world is against you, know that you have a mayor who's for you, number one. Also, a lot of elected officials. When you feel the world is falling apart, things are very difficult. There are still a lot of very committed leaders, not just in the elected space, but in the nonprofit space
Right.
and other things, who care very deeply about your safety, your prosperity, the future, and are working and doing good work every day to make that planet and people, better and have a great future. So I would say don't lose hope as much as you do doom scroll and look at
Yeah,
things.
right.
There is so much good going on around you.
Yeah, no doom scrolling for anyone who's watching now. We can all get stuck in that,
Yeah.
the doom scrolling. But I love that, because sometimes you can feel alone when you're having those tough moments and tough times. And so it's important to reach out to nonprofit organizations, to the elected officials, to your parishes or wherever you go for your religious services or not. And also just in general to friends and families, because sometimes people isolate, and that's when it gets really problematic.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and I think something that gives me hope, I know, is just being out in the community and connecting with my residents in the city. Because, as I said, regardless of what's going on, there are people still out there living their lives, working their jobs, doing things.
I want to interrupt you. I got excited because the mayor's coffee
Oh,
was so accessible. So I can go. I love coffee. First off, my team knows it. I need less coffee, everyone. So you can go have a mayor's coffee, and residents are invited to come out and meet with you and share their stories, their need, their support, those set of things too.
yeah, that's really important for us to connect with our community. And we make lots of opportunities. We've had an initiative every year where we're out. And I started my term as mayor with something I called the Big Tent Tour. And that's because there's room under the tent for everyone. And we went around to all our communities and met with them and wanted to hear, what was working, what wasn't working, and if they had suggestions.
I think we can all learn a lot just by listening more. And for folks watching too, especially if you're a veteran, just come out front of the building itself, and you'll see the Veterans Memorial and the statue. That was really inspiring for me as a veteran. So thank you, Mayor Lock Dawson. We're so grateful to have you as a guest on Community in Focus. And folks, if you're watching now, please like, subscribe, and share. Get this out there. Mayor, once again, thank you for being
Thank you,
part of
Tim.
this.
I'm so happy to be here. Thanks. Appreciate
Okay.
it.
Thank you, everyone.